Hi, I'm Adelaide. If you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not new here, then I guess welcome back. That was a really weird way to open this video. But as you can see by the title of this video, we are going to do a little bit of a Q&A advice type thing. I guess like an agony aunt, but agony Adelaide, that's not a thing. I'm going to give you some advice. Whether that's good advice or not that's up to you to decide. It's probably not very good advice, but I'm going to try my best. So let's get into it. What was this? Oh my gosh. The first question is the best way to get a valid ADHD test. The best way to do it in the UK is to go to your GP with all of the evidence that you have collected to say that you suspect that you have ADHD and ask for a referral to your local ADHD team. You'll then get an assessment. I'm not sure how long the wait list is. I know that it's different for every single borough, so it could be a few months, it could be a couple of years. It really depends on where you are. If you don't want to wait and you can afford to go private, then I do recommend doing that as well. But you can also do it through the Right to Choose, which is an NHS service but private, and you have to ask for your GP to refer you that way. The next question is, how do I comfort someone when they're crying? I'm the worst person to ask this to because I have absolutely no idea. I really don't deal well with people crying because I never know what the best course of action is. My actual advice is to ask the person crying what they need in the moment and ask what sort of things that you can do to comfort them. Every single person is different, and what works for one won't work for somebody else, and so I can't say this works because that might work for me but it won't work for them. So the best thing to do is to literally just ask them. Okay, I'm gonna really expose myself right now, but I have this issue with laughing in moments that I'm not finding funny. For example, if someone is crying, I have been known to laugh, and it's not that I'm laughing at them or laughing at the situation, and I always apologise like immediately, like I'm so sorry, I do not know why I'm laughing, I'm not finding it funny, but I just laugh, and I'm not really sure why I do that. I know that it's something to do with my emotional regulation, and it's very common in ADHD and autistic people to laugh in moments that aren't actually funny because our brain gets confused with the emotion that we are trying to portray. It doesn't happen every time someone's crying, and it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen to me, and it is really, really annoying because I end up feeling so guilty, and then obviously it makes the person uncomfortable. But luckily every time it has happened, the person has been really understanding and knows that I don't actually find the situation funny. The next question is how to manage overstimulation in public spaces. And this one is so difficult to answer because I honestly don't know. For me, I always take things with me that I know are going to help regulate me. Often I'll have like a spare t-shirt or a pair of joggers or something, because I know that if I'm going to get overstimulated, the clothes that I'm wearing might be what's making me feel overstimulated, and so I'll find a bathroom to get changed in, or I'll make sure I always have things with me that can help regulate me, such as stim toys like a Tangle or my Stimags. I'll always have my loops or my ear defenders as well, just so that I'm able to block out some external noise and fidget and keep myself engaged and regulated. The next question is how to boost your confidence, and I love this question. I love this question so much. So I have always been quite an insecure person. I've really had very, very low self-esteem, no self-confidence whatsoever, and I feel like I've really been working hard on it the last few years, and I am so much more confident now than I've ever been in my entire life. And what I find really, really helpful with boosting confidence is affirmations. And I know this is something that everybody says, and it seems like it's so silly and it seems like it wouldn't work, but it genuinely does work. I didn't think it would work, but it just does. I don't know why it does, it just does. When you spend your entire life feeling ashamed and feeling like you don't have any confidence and you don't really appreciate the way that you look and you can't carry yourself with confidence, you start to believe all the negative things that you're telling yourself. And so affirmations help with limiting that belief and giving you something else to believe. I say affirmations every single morning in the mirror while I'm getting ready because it helps boost my confidence a lot, and it helps me feel a little bit more appreciative of the way that I look. Don't go into it and don't try and gain confidence and expect to see results within a couple of days, because it's just not realistic, especially when you've spent your entire life feeling quite negative about yourself. Start off being neutral. If you spend your entire life being negative, and then try and jump to loving yourself and being extremely confident. It's just not gonna work. You really need to do all of the steps that come in between. Start off being neutral, and then when you're comfortable being neutral about yourself, work your way up to appreciating yourself, and then to liking yourself, and then to loving yourself. And this way, when you build up from the bottom, when you do end up having days where you're feeling quite negative, it's a lot easier to get back to a good place because you've already done the work, and you can jump to appreciating and liking, and you don't really go down to hatred as much anymore, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made sense or not. We're just gonna hope that it did. The next question is how to manage your ADHD when you've got assignments due. And I'm assuming you mean because you get easily distracted, or you get bored, or you just don't have the executive functioning to begin the task because you know that it's boring. And this question has come at such a perfect time. So if you didn't know, I'm actually an ADHD coach, and I'm currently working with a client whose goal is to be able to complete tasks, especially tasks when it comes to the uni work. And so the advice I'm going to give right now might not work for you, but it's something that in our coaching sessions we've come up with that really works for them. And it's about utilising the strengths that you have in order to actually maintain your focus and get things done. So a few of my client strengths are creativity and curiosity, and we've come up with strategies and ways to use those strengths to enable them to focus and maintain their attention on work that they otherwise deem boring. And so for yourself, when you're trying to do your coursework, your schoolwork, your assignments or whatever, for example, if your assignment is to write a 2,000 word essay, that can be really boring, it can be really daunting, it can just feel very, very tedious. So in order for you to make it more engaging and more fun, think of things that you do for fun. For example, my client really enjoys creating things on Canva, making infographics and things like that. And so I've said, why can't you do that with your uni work? Why can't you utilise that and make something more fun and creative? You can speak to your tutor and say, I'm finding it really difficult to do it this way because my brain just simply will not focus. I know for a fact that I focus better this way and I want to do it like this. Can I hand in a video assignment? Can it be 2,000 words but of me speaking to a camera so I can explain everything that I'm going to say? It just isn't in a written format. If something has to be a particular way, it's not fair if it's something that you genuinely struggle with and can't do, because it puts you at a disadvantage. And so making sure that your tutors, teachers, colleagues, bosses, whatever, are completely aware of, one, that you have ADHD and that you need to do things a different way, and two, they're making the right accommodations because they have to be making the right accommodations. I like to make games out of things, I like to put timers on things, I like to make sure that what I'm doing is bright and colourful and it keeps my attention. I know that some people say keep distractions away, but I don't really feel like keeping distractions away matters because I'll be distracted by a blank wall. Having things around you that help you focus, such as fidget toys, having certain music playing, certain playlists playing, making yourself have treats and prizes after you complete something. There are many ways that you can change the way that you're doing to make it more engaging and more fun. The next question is how to make friends in your 30s. I don't know. I've made most of my friends in my late 20s, and it's been because I've stopped being who I'm not, if that makes sense. I spent my entire life trying to fit in, trying to be someone that I'm really not, and I just didn't have the right type of friends. A really good place to start is finding a hobby that you really enjoy and joining a group or a class so that you can meet people who you know already have the same interests as you. It doesn't even have to be an in-person class. You can join groups online, you can go onto forums and different things like that. Another way is to reply to comments on videos and stuff like YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram Reels and things like that. It won't be the creator that you end up becoming friends with. I mean, it might be, but it might not be. But it's more about the people that you meet in the comment section. And so you'll start having conversations with people you've never even met just because you've both found a certain video entertaining, and it can just grow from there. And I don't think there's a particular way that you make friends. I think it's just about actually engaging with other people, whether that's online or in person, and making sure that you are yourself so you know that the person genuinely appreciates you and not the person that you're trying to be. The next question is how to be part of an online community. And honestly, by just engaging in the community, replying to people's comments on videos and pictures, joining different forums, and actually just being active in the community. You can be a part of a community and not really talk to anyone, but to be an active part of a community, I do think that it literally is just about putting in the effort if you have the ability to do so. The next question is how to stop feeling behind in life. The person who sent that question says that they're 36, no kids, no job, etc. And my honest and only advice I have for this is that you are not behind. If you feel like you're behind, ask yourself why. By whose standards are you behind? Ask yourself questions as to why you're behind, because the chances are you're feeling behind because of the way society deems certain ages and where you need to be by a certain age. One thing that genuinely really helped me kind of come to terms with the fact that I myself am 30 years old. I turned 30 in January. I don't have a partner. I don't have children. I don't really know if I want children or not. I live by myself. I don't technically have a job. Social media is my job, but I don't often get paid for that, and so it's an unpaid job. And I'd spent a long time feeling behind, but then I heard a quote that was, Forbes 30 under 30 is the exception, not the rule. 30 is not an age where you should have accomplished a million different things because you feel pressured by society to do so. And when you see all these articles of people who are like 26, 25 or 21, 29 achieving all of these great things, that's just because their life path is a little bit different and they're the exception, not the rule. And there is no timer. There is no, you need to hand in this assignment of life by X date. That's not how life works, and everyone is on their own path. There isn't an age limit on anything. You can go back to college or university at any age. If you want to go and get a degree at the age of 77, you can. You are doing okay. I promise that you're doing okay. And just because you're not where you want to be right now doesn't mean that you won't end up where you want to be. And your happiness and your comfortability with your life is far more important than what some person on the internet thinks and what they think you should be achieving at your age. The next question is a good one, and it's, how do you gain inspiration? Such a silly answer, but by being childish. I feel like I get inspiration when I'm just vibing. I can be sat colouring, painting, watching cartoons, watching TV, doing whatever I feel brings me joy, and then inspiration will just come. And if you're trying to look for inspiration and you're putting pressure on finding inspiration, chances of finding it are really slim. The next thing that someone asked was how to kind of convince that the partner that their ADHD is real. They've said, my ADHD is moderate, so it's difficult to make my partner believe I have ADHD. I feel like the advice I have for this is going to sound really mean, and I'm really not meaning it to come across that way, but if your partner is refusing to acknowledge it, there's not really anything you can do to convince them it's real, and that feels like something that you need to really address with them. Like, ask them why they don't believe you, or why it is that they're pushing it aside and not taking it seriously, and genuinely have a conversation with them. It's hard without me just saying leave him but I think a partner respecting you is the bare minimum, and if they're not acknowledging something about you and are completely disregarding it, then they're not respecting you, and that's really not okay. And my advice is to question whether they're the right person for you, I guess. I don't know, that's probably really terrible advice, I'm sorry. The next question is it possible to self-medicate with CBD? And that is completely up to you. I'm not going to tell people that they should self-medicate with CBD, but I'm also not going to tell people that they shouldn't. I think that that is a very personal choice. I have used CBD in the past for my anxiety and it did work wonders. It was incredible. I don't much use it anymore. It took me a long time to try CBD. I was terrified of it, I'm not gonna lie. It did help my anxiety a lot, and I just don't want to be the kind of person that's like, try it, it's amazing, or no, I don't think you should do that. I think it's a very personal option, and I don't really have any type of advice to give you on that because it's not my place to say so. I was gonna do pink and purple mascara, but I think black is a better option for today. Okay, and that's my makeup done. I think that it looks really, really cute. Thank you so much for watching. I hope me answering these questions was somewhat helpful and informative, and if it wasn't, I'm so sorry, but I did my best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!